divert money to his wife, divert money to these sources that are not part of the process for which these funds were meant. Everybody who knows President Buhari and who has been privy to his life knows that he is not going to do that. So I think Nigerians, as skeptical as we all are, we should give this thing a chance, because we need this money to be able to take care of this situation. If in the past funds were released for security and they were diverted, then we decide that for that reason we're not going to bring out money to fund the forces, to pay for the things that are required, to create the enabling environment for our security architecture to take off, then we should change ourselves. It will be a simple case of cutting your nose to spite your face. And I don't think that we can afford that as a country.
If the National Assembly had properly monitored the spending of this money, we wouldn't have had Dasukigate.
The National Assembly as an institution is always conscious of that fact, that sometimes when you want to take security issues to its logical conclusion, you can compromise the security of the nation. You can kill the enthusiasm and damping the morale of the soldiers that are in the trenches fighting for their lives and fighting for you and I. So a lot of times the National Assembly would see some of these situations and tread carefully in the national interest, because it relates to security. But when these people are no longer in office, we still have the opportunity to still go back and look into some of these issues, which is what is currently going on now. And I think everybody must commend the Buhari administration for the steps they have taken to bring these things to light. Because whether you like it or not, the fact that people who have held this kind of high offices are today being called to account will act as a check on those currently holding the same offices.
Now, since ever since the president had called for said the approval, given approval for the $1 billion to fight insecurity, we've seen reactions. Now, from the National Assembly, some lawmakers have come out to say that the president needs to come to the National Assembly for appropriation of that money.
To me, that argument is legalistic. It's okay to have the argument, but it does not change the fact that this account already exists and that the money is already there and that the problem is still there. So if we have the money and the account is there and we can apply it to we can apply the money to the problem, why don't we go ahead and do that? The argument as to whether we need an excess crude account and its impact on the economy and all that is a different kind of argument. And Ben Bruce and co, as members of the opposition party in the country, it is their responsibility to make that case. But it is the president's responsibility to cater to the urgent, immediate, and security challenges that we face as a nation. And I think that both parties should be commended. The president should be commended for doing what he ought to be doing, and the opposition party should also be commended for calling the attention of the country to whatever misgivings they may have. That's their responsibility. But Nigeria must move forward.
But some are questioning the timing for this fund, for this $1 billion to fight security, and saying beyond the timing, do we even really, is this what we need at this time?
I think those who are arguing that don't understand what security is. Even if you have defeated Boko Haram, and there's still attacks going on, there's still areas that have not been properly secured, there's still equipment that has rotted away or been damaged or do not exist and you need to acquire. Are you going to say because you've defeated Boko Haram, therefore you now go to sleep and expect them to come back and overrun the entire country again tomorrow? No, we must continue to invest in security. We have serious security challenges. There are some places bandits are operating almost unhindered. In some places you have the issue of headsmen and all that. So there are security challenges. And as a country, we must continue to invest in security. So whether the government said Boko Haram has been defeated or Boko Haram has not been defeated is totally immaterial as to the need for Nigeria to continuously and continually invest in security. So I don't think those two issues are related.